So I'm going to do this live quickly. I'm nearly home. St George's Day is the 23rd of April 2019. And as many of you be aware, I've been off work for the last 2 weeks. My second day back today, you see. And all I've heard over the news are protesters are blocking Oxford Circus, protesters here, protesters there. You know, eco warriors, you know, saying that we've only got 11 years to live, you know, because there's going to be irreversible change to the climate. Sergeant Major Patrick Harbour, you know, there's going to be irreversible change to the climate and all this yakety schmackety. And don't get me wrong, I'm a firm believer that we do need to change the way we are, you know, in regards to what we consume, what we use, how we go about our daily lives, trying to make the air better, trying to pollute less. You know, I'm all on board for that. What I can't understand though is with these protesters, all right, is they've been given the name soap dodgers, and for good reason. They were dodging soap by not washing because they plotted themselves down at Oxford Circus for a good few days, right? And not just there, many other places. In fact, they were down at Parliament Square today. And what I can't understand, this is what I don't get. You see, this is what I'll never understand this about protesters, because they want us to feel sorry for them and their cause. And their argument is, well, it's your cause too. I'm all on board. I get it. I understand it. I don't necessarily agree with it. This is for another video. But what I don't get is blocking up the road and pissing people off will not get people on board with what you want them to believe. It won't. It won't. Protesters, when you make a point of stopping people going to and from work, stopping emergency services, you know, doctors and nurses and teachers and God knows how many other people are trying to get to and from work, we're not going to give a damn about how much you want to protest. And this is what makes me laugh the most. The amount of rubbish that these soap dodgers left behind was absolutely astronomical. I don't get it. Yesterday, my first day back yesterday, and please excuse the camera, it's a bit dirty. I was at Oxford Circus. I had one bus stop left, all right? And one of these dirty soap dodging bastards was standing by the bus stop with a bag full of plastic sleeves that you put paper in. Full of them. In fact, they were brand spanking new. And what he was making a point of doing was taking all of these plastic sleeves out of the big plastic sheath that it was in and then dumping them over the floor. To which I then stopped my bus and got out of my cab and I said, are you going to pick those up? He went, at some point. I said, there's a bin there. I said, you're banging on about recycling so much and yet you're there deliberately dropping plastic all over the floor. You, sir, are a hypocrite and you've been caught on camera. So what I'm going to try and do, you know, I probably won't get hold of it, but I'm going to try and get the CCTV off the bus I was driving yesterday afternoon. I probably won't be allowed to have it for data protection and all this other bollocks. But this is what I've got to deal with. Also, another thing is the amount of graffiti that these so-called eco warriors left behind, again, is absolutely disgusting. And it's not just chalk on the floor, you know, because chalk washes away. Chalk will degrade and as and when it rains, it'll disappear. No, I'm talking about paint. Aerosol. I squeaked a bit then, aerosol. You know, you're using spray paint to put your ridiculous logo all over places, but the paint not only does it look terrible, it's also polluting our atmosphere and making the place rather unpleasant for people to be. You know, the amount of these eco warriors, all right, that claim to be vegan and then have a leather belt on. Meh. Oh yeah. You know, or claim to be so good for the environment, and then you see them eating Burger King or McDonald's. Bearing in mind, the beef and dairy industry are two of the biggest contributors this planet has ever seen to pollution. And yet there they are, scoffing down their burgers, wearing leather belts, and I bet when they go home, they'll sit on their leather sofa. Oh yeah, hypocrites is what they are. Hypocrites. Clearly with nothing better to do, with clearly no job to go to. Let me read some of these comments because I'm nearly home. Let's have a look. Oi, oi, oi. However, the triaxle bus is a no-go. Funnily enough, I was supposed to have the triaxle bus today, and guess what? It wasn't working. So I had a different one instead. I'll probably have it tomorrow though, because I'm not that lucky. Sarah says, Sergeant Major Patrick Harper. Yep, hi Sarah. I agree. Hello. Aberdeen bus videos. Cheers for that, mate. Thanks for joining. Hi, Sergeant Major Patrick, says Sarah. We've got a nice little community going here. I like it. That is so ridiculous. Yes, I agree. By law, you're allowed CCTV for yourself. Well, we'll wait and see. I will ask them. I will ask them. Yeah. Oh, you caught the squeak then. What the fuck? They bang on about saving the earth by dumping plastic pockets on the floor. Yeah, I know. I don't get it either. Oh gosh, don't get me started. Some vegans. Yeah, not all. Great video as ever. Oh, thanks, Top Deck Stu. Much appreciated. Love your view on issues. It's brilliant to have to agree with you. Thank you very much. And my family is very well, thank you very much for that. Top Deck Stew. My kids are in bed, hopefully they're asleep, and I'm going to be going home because I live up there, just up there. We're going to have some dinner, have a bath and go to bed. Robert Waller. Bob, how you doing, mate? I haven't seen you on one of my videos for a long time. Don't forget the mum and dad who have at least 2 cars per household. Oh yeah, I wonder how many overseas holidays they had last year. Yeah, I know. This is the sort of thing where it gets into a very mucky territory. But these protesters, these soap dodgers, you know, and to be fair, although I agree global warming is happening, I don't believe that a majority of it is caused by human beings. Anyone who knows me and my point of view is I believe that the earth is on its natural cycle and that global warming is being used to tax people. You see, the earth is changing. This is true, and it's going to change. It's always changing. But the thing is, here's one thing you need to understand. You see, and this is NASA. You see, I have links, I have contacts. If global warming and climate change was that much of a global issue, then satellites would genuinely be falling out of the sky because they require the Earth to be in a certain state of balance. And NASA are constantly monitoring weather. They're monitoring heat from the planet. They're monitoring the gravity of the Earth. They're monitoring the electromagnetic field of the Earth. All of these things, including the global warming effect, have a contributing factor in keeping satellites in orbit. So if the world was literally as doomed as people say it is, then we would have no GPS within 10 years. And I doubt that. If the world was as bad as people say it is now, we would have no Sky TV, hardly any GPS, and phones wouldn't work. So that's just something to think about, and that's from a very reliable source, so I'm not privy to mention. But there we go. There we go. And let's read a couple more of these comments before I go home. Some of my friends at Gems are on a Facebook page. We're meeting up on Saturday to go swimming. Oh, that's nice. I haven't been swimming for ages. Can't believe that you were called a racist, by the way. Totally not true. Yeah, Sergeant Major Patrick Harper. Yeah, that pissed me off beyond belief. No one's really, not many people seen a nasty, aggressive side to me, but it came out yesterday. Hi, thank you very much. Imtiaz, I do apologise, my pronunciation is shit. Reese Holmes, hi. I do enjoy your opinion, Chris. Well, thank you very much. I enjoy my opinion too. That's why I do this. That's why I do it. I do it to vent, and if people agree with me, then that's a bonus. If you disagree with me, that's actually a good thing as well, because it means we can get conversation going in the comments section down below. Now listen, if it's your first time joining me, welcome. Hit the like, share and subscribe button. Turn on notifications. I do this on a frequent, a bit of Jonathan Wolf coming out there, on a frequent basis. I've got many videos. I have actually been contacted privately by a individual who has subscribed to my channel, who I'm not going to mention his name, but he actually found a video recently and he has sent it to me, and I do find it very interesting, and I'll find out at some point next week. But it intrigued me. This one did. It baffled me at first, but I'm just stick with it. Keep your eyes open for what I'm going to be posting next week. I will post a community post to let people know when it's coming out, because I still need to work with what I've been sent, and it's an eye opener. Let's put it that way. Like you said, takes the racist to spot racism where it doesn't exist. This is very true. I actually coined that little phrase about a year ago. And it's true, it does take a pure racist to spot racism where there is none. For you to call me a racist because I'm a white man literally makes you a racist. Completely agree. This is very to other things and then promising people things that I'm never going to deliver. But if you feel at any point that this channel is worth supporting in any way, shape or form, then you can leave a small donation, only if you wish, to my PayPal me. You can find the link to that in the about section, or I will drop a link to that in the description down below at some point when I finish on here. Anyway, I'm gonna go. I'll probably be back at some point tomorrow whinging about this, that and the other, but other than that, have a wonderful evening. And for those of you in the UK, specifically in England, happy St George's Day. Much love.